Here is a $1 million question. Are you working for money or you make money work for you? Continue to watch this video till the end. Hello friends, welcome back. You're with me on BMO Knowledge Talk. Robert and Mike were never invited for any parties or get together organized by their classmates because of their poverty. That made them discuss frequently on how to become affluent. But unfortunately, they had limited opportunities to work because of their age. One fine evening, when Robert's dad was reading newspaper, Robert sat beside his dad and asked, "Dad, how to become rich?" His dad kept the newspaper aside and said, "Son, if you want to be rich, you have to learn to make money." "How to make money, Dad?" asked Robert. "Use your head, son. I don't know the answer, so please don't embarrass me." The quick note here is Robert's dad is a poor and his friend Mike's dad is a rich. Let's see what kind of advice Robert and his friend Mike had received from their rich dad and poor dad. Number one, work to learn, don't work for money. Poor dad's advice in order to earn more money is to specialize on the work you do. Where rich dad has exactly the contradicting opinion. The more specialized you become, the more trapped you are and be reliant on that specialty. Let's see whose advice makes sense in reality. For an instance, I have been working as a programmer for a decade. Due to pandemic, I lost my job. Unfortunately, there was no opening for my specialization. That left me unemployed for 4 complete months. That's when I realized having no experience other than specialized field is a trap. Maybe that's why Rich Dad advises to learn a little about a lot. That means we need to work on the different profession to learn skills. Learning meant everything to Rich Dad. His insight is work for what you learn more than what you earn, and skills are more valuable than money in the long run. Number two, mind your own business. We may forget to mind our own business. Instead, we mind someone else's business and making that person rich or wealthy. People face financial struggle because they barely spend all their priceless time for someone else's dreams. And end of the day, they get nothing. The idea here is keep your daytime job on and mind your own business. For an example, when we work for a company, we give our power to our employer. But author Robert Kiyosaki reminds us to mind our own business as well. That means we need to spend an ample amount of time to figure out what we are interested in and how to build our own business to keep and control the power with us. Poor Dad always encouraged Robert to find a great job with a strong corporation. Also advises him to work his best to climb the corporate ladder. In contrary, Rich Dad encouraged him to own the ladder instead. The bottom line is, poor dad encourages him to work for a company and rich dad encourages him to own a company. Number three, history of taxes and the power of corporation. We wonder forever how rich people pay less taxes than middle or poor people. Because rich people possess the financial knowledge to keep their asset tenable from government and bullies. Besides that, they acquire the profound knowledge and the algorithm of laws and corporations. Every year, we all pay taxes to state and federal government. But have you ever thought of the history of taxes? This book tells us the history of taxes and the power of corporation as well. Most importantly, rich people are expertised with the history of taxes, as they believe that would assist them to understand the power of corporations. Number four, the rich invent money. In the real world, more than academics and scholastic skill, one thing is significant. We call that as financial literacy or financial knowledge. Financial literacy requires both knowledge as well as information. Knowledge is power and the information is wealth. Have you ever realized why people always believe in conventional approach to work hard and save money? Despite working harder, people struggle. The fact is, people simply cling to an old ideas and resist changes. Old ideas are our liabilities. We may fail to realize that it was an asset yesterday, you know, yesterday is gone. Especially when it comes to money, we prefer to play it safe rather to take risks. But rich people think creative and take calculated risks. And number five, opportunity. We all naturally inherit tremendous potential to be rich, but lack of financial literacy limits our opportunities. The market or economy may boom or even crash. Investments may or may not bring fortune, but the world is always handling opportunities. The globe keeps changing, and so the technology is. Thereby, more opportunities knock your door. If you are a kind of person who waits for the right opportunity, then you might be like waiting for all the traffic light turn to green before you start your trip. You know, that's never going to happen. 300 years ago, land was wealth. So the person who owned the land owned the wealth. And few decades later, it was factories and production where industrialists owned the wealth. And today, it's all information. The person who has the timeliest information owns the wealth. People with unforeseen routine for years tend to lead a mediocre life, can never be wealthy even they wish, as they are not trained financially to recognize the inundated opportunities. Great opportunities are not seen with your eyes, they are seen with your mind. Therefore, train your mind to be financially rich. Number six, the greatest philosophy to be rich is plant seeds in the assets, not in the liabilities. For an instance, my friend and I have been working for the same organization for last 5 years. He often talks about investments, buying shares, properties, and so forth. But I wasn't much familiar about financial literacy at that stage of life. But I still showed deference for his opinions though. Years later, I planned making an investment buying a new car with a few years of my savings. It cost me around 25K a couple of years ago. I was enthralled about making such an investment. But in a span of just 2 years, the car value has depreciated by 40%. I was deceived about making investment initially, and it took a while for me to realize that buying a car is neither an investment nor an asset. It's purely a liability. At the same time, my friend Rohit had diversified his portfolio by investing the same amount of money, 25K, on gold, share, mutual funds, and so on. In just 2 years, his investment have thrived to 45K. The science of money making money turned out to be a success for him. Furthermore, gain profound knowledge before you invest your money into any market. The more knowledge you possess, the better opportunity you have to lower your risk. That is why the same market is risky for one and favorable for another. Number seven, the more you give, the more you receive. To be a good learner, you need to be a good teacher as well as a good student. Likewise, to be truly rich, you need to give as well as receive. The lack of giving and receiving is also the cause of financial and personal struggle. Well, if you want to know your financial status, just think that how long you can survive with no job. That would determine how wealthy you are. Number eight, money is not real. The more real you think money is, the harder you will work for it. If you can grasp the idea that money is not real, you can grow rich sooner. Don't work for money, make money work for you. The single most powerful asset that every one of us has, it's our mind. If it is trained well, it can generate enormous wealth. Friends, financial literacy and financial freedom are the vast topic to be discussed. Thus, I have made two separate videos on this. You can find the links in the description below. The final and my favorite one is pay yourself first before paying anything else. Our lives are the reflection of our habits more than our education. I still remember my dad always had financial struggle. He pays all his expenses first and pays himself at last if anything left. Ironically, this book, Rich Dad and Poor Dad, has taught me entirely a different perspective about financial approach. It's to pay yourself first before paying anything else. That sounds good to me, and I started paying myself first. Later on, the pressure I had to pay my credit and debt have pushed me to seek for other forms of income before the bankers start yelling at me. This habit worked out well, enforced me to think of making additional income to pay my expenses. The more your mental muscles out, the stronger you get. It's like going to gym and working out with weights. Having good financial habit would make you financially stronger. Friends, don't work for money, make money work for you.